The Edible Bean School on realagriculture.com is brought to you by Hensel Co-op.
Welcome to this episode of the Edible Bean School here on Real Agriculture. I'm Kelvin Hepner, and there are, of course, many different approaches and strategies when it comes to harvesting edible beans, everything from a fairly typical field combine used for other crops, modified combines, to self-propelled edible bean specialized combines. This technology behind us, though, is new to Canada, and joining us to discuss this self-propelled bean combine, we're pleased to welcome Frank Unger of Gen Ag. And Frank, why don't you tell us a bit about this Colombo machine behind us?
The history of them it goes back even into the Pickett era, where they built the thrashing box for them. They've come to the market with the North American unit, and we had their pull types here. Now, this is the first self-propelled in Canada, for sure in Manitoba, and so it's a pretty big machine. It's 410 horse John Deere engine powering it, a 9-liter. It's fully hydraulic from front to back. The cab is a Claus cab, and the transmission is a Claus transmission. And so it right from the pickup to the auger to the feeder house, the guts of the combine right through the back to the chopper is all hydraulically driven.
Hydraulically driven, and of course from the ground up designed for edible beans, unlike many of the other machines that are used out there.
It's a rotor system with auger pins in it, and you can adjust the pins for aggressiveness. So if your beans are probably a little tough and there's a lot of green pods, you can adjust the pins and run the thrasher so it runs those out the back and saves the good beans.
Okay. Ultimately, it is all about saving those good beans and maximizing the quality, minimizing the amount of splits and cracked seed coats and all of that.
That's correct. It's basically works down to return on investment. So if you have a machine that specializes in beans, you know the wear items can be replaced easily. If you put your expensive field combine in there, it's more expensive to repair. So that's one part of the return on investment. The other part is the saving on quality. Just yesterday, this machine was less than 1% dockage, which the buyer said he really haven't seen very often. And so that's a saving. If you're instead of 10% dockage, you're 1% at whatever the market price is today is pretty big.
Mm-hmm. So Frank, how would this combine compare with a conventional combine setup in terms of, we can see right from the front, the header design it's specialized for edible beans. Internally, like you said, obviously the unload, there's a conveyor here on the side for gentle handling of the beans as well.
Yes, anytime you have bean on bean or iron on iron movement, you'll have damage. So that's why they went to a conveyor. It's an auger will scratch them up, or you get coating damage or a cracked bean, which is not really a sellable bean.
Mm-hmm. So what do you see in terms of potential for a machine like this in a Canadian edible bean market?
Well, there's it's crazy to say it, but this combine also will combine corn. We can put some different guts inside, brass bars, and then run it as a corn combine. We hope to actually hook a flex dripper to it, and maybe we can do soybeans. And it's endless.
Okay. It's also used for peanut. This type of combine is also used for peanuts in the southern U.S.
Southern U.S. and South America, they use a lot of that for their beans. If you go to their website, you can see that on their beans. But peanuts is the big market there. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for taking the time to show us one of the latest innovations here in edible bean harvest, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.